Hello, this is me, Josh Hunter. I am currently on the Earth, planet Earth. Alright, so this is, man, I've been having some very unusual perceptions. I mean, most of my perceptions are, I guess they seem unusual. But I don't know, somehow I get the sense that everyone's kind of thinking the same thing, although I could be wrong. I mean, it looks different, but I think most people are pretty much the same. I mean, that's why we're all on the Earth and not like somewhere else. Anyway, I'm gonna list here, I'm gonna try something out. I'm gonna, back when I used to be like a person who would attempt like romance, I would always, I'm like a very slow moving person, so I'd always start with letters and then like handmade like handmade gifts and this type of thing. But I don't know, I just think it'd be neat to just, because sometimes when I think about it, I don't get a sense of it. I want to see if I can use this or utilize it and extract the relevant frequencies and apply them to more appropriate scenarios. So I'll just list some of the gifts that I've given to ladies over the years. Okay, so first of all, I do like to give gifts during Christmas and Christmas usually though. Like I usually give everyone the same gift because when I used to know lots of people and all that. But I'll just list here some of the gifts that I'd give to ladies. Not necessarily, I didn't give it with the intent of like me more, but it's just I try to be delicate when I express affinity. Not delicate. I'm not a fan of aggression. I just, to me, life has been very harsh. I'm not saying that my life has been the harshest, but I perceive life as being harsh. I don't see a lot of kindness in the world, so whenever possible, I try to express, I try to be delicate with people, even if they're those hard-nosed, those very strong, tough people who never get hurt. I still try to be gentle, I don't want to, there's been enough suffering. So, let's see. First gift I remember, and I think most of these ladies that I've given, I think they're all married now, with children, and I don't know if they all have children, but I think most of them are married. Don't worry, I'm not trying to break up any I'm not trying to break up any marriages or anything. I'm not. I'm serious. Like, who the fuck would want to marry me anyway? Alright. Anyway. When I was in 7th grade, or in the summer in between 7th grade, I went to this camp. It's called Camp Bluff Lake. It was sponsored by the YMCA. It's gone now, but it was a 1-week camp, but I was only supposed to be there for 1 week. But for some reason, I ended up being there for 2 weeks. And so the first week, I was like a regular camper, just oh, I'm a kid at camp. And then the buses left, and I was still there, and the people who worked there were like, "What the fuck are you still doing here?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I got signed up for 2 weeks." It's like, it's a 1-week camp. So they said, "All right, I guess you're gonna work for us now." I didn't say it like that, but I mean, and so I ended up working as a director's assistant, the director of the camp. And so I got to sleep indoors. This fucking guy. I got to carpeted floors, no scorpions or anything. I didn't have to go to church. I didn't have to do anything. And it was my job to wake everybody up in the morning. That was my job, mainly. And then we'll wake them up to go to church. And then, because YMCA. Anyway, while I was there, a lot of these guys, everyone, I think they were all older than me. I was like 12, but I don't know if anybody else was doing the same thing that I was. They were all like at least like 18 and up. And there was this cool guy. I think his name was Rick, but he he gave me this hat, and he was like, this is a cool hat. It reminds me of Dean Martin. And so he gave me this hat, and he also gave me this like silk kimono. I don't know why. I mean, I don't I don't know why he. Well, I mean, it wasn't like no funny business or nothing. I mean, it wasn't. Okay, all right. Anyway. So yeah. Later on that year. All right, I'm skipping around, but that kimono eventually, like the one girlfriend I ever had, I gave her that kimono, and after we broke up, Anyway, oh shit. But just to let her know that there was no hard feelings, right? The hat I kept, I think. Then in 7th grade, I saved up 3 weeks allowance because I knew this gal, she liked the band Limp Bizkit. So I saved up 3 weeks allowance. I won't tell you how much that was. And I went to the store and I bought a Limp Bizkit windbreaker, or a jacket, windbreaker, whatever. I gave it to her, and I think a couple of weeks or a day or I don't know how long it was, but she gave it back to me, and she was like, "Oh well, my parental figures said that it was too extravagant." So it was too extravagant, and so I took it back, and then I transferred to this other school, and then I remember who I gave it to some other girl, and oddly enough, I don't remember who the first girl I gave it to, but then they gave it to someone else. That jacket went around, like a bunch of ladies had that windbreaker. Oh, once I learned how to crochet, I made all kinds of gifts. Different scarves. I remember for this gal's birthday once, I crocheted like a pink and white bag with the letter J on it. Fuck. I'm not like saying like, oh, like I did something wrong. I cannot. I'm not sure that I know exactly what the consequences of me saying this will be, because right now, you know, I'm like by myself. Like I am so by myself. Like there isn't even like, you know, no, like I'm not. Anyway, it was a nice bag. I mean, it was kind of, you know, like it was not a bag that would make anyone want to fuck me. You know, not that that was the case or anything. It was not like, when I say that, that seems kind of harsh. I mean, like, it was not the bag that would encourage a lady to have romantic feelings, where it's like, oh, this pink and white bag, it makes me like want to. No, I was just thinking ladies like the color pink. And, you know, it wasn't the J for me, because my name is, all right, my name's, fuck. all right, let's see. And then, you know, as high school, like, ended, I was not so much with the physical gifts. Oh, shit. This is interesting. And I try to focus more on letters. Like I would write letters, but they weren't always like, oh, you know, I like you type letters. I mean, it was kind of like inferred, but it was always like just kind of like polite. Because to me, to just come out and just say I like you, I mean, that seems like a bit aggressive. You know, just like gently, just like, you know. So I focus more on like crafting letters that would, you know, encourage, or crafting letters that would, you know, like, even if the gal didn't like me, it would still be of use to her. You know, like, it's got to be useful as well, practical. So, okay, all right. Well, when I was in, I'm not sure what category to put this into. Like, I don't know what this means. Like, is this lame? Is this like not like a cool thing to do? Like, I mean, I don't mind that I'm not, like, you know, a ladies' man or whatever. I can't tell if this is like, I don't want to interfere, because, like, some people have forgotten me to such a degree that even to be reminded that I exist might, you know, well, I'm not, anyway, so then, so then I focused on letters. So let's see, I think one of the best letters that I ever wrote, not the best, I don't think it was the best that I wrote anyway, but, I wrote to this lady, and I tried to, you know, like I said, it was, I don't know, I never said in the letter, like, oh, you know, feelings, but it was, you know, it was more like, hey, you know what, I think you're gonna do all right. I think your life's gonna be pretty good, and you know, and then and then later on it did. It turned, from what I tell, I mean, I saw some pictures of her, like, in the news or something. So, I mean, not in the news, but it was like, I wasn't stalking. I just happened to be, like, passing through, you know, things come up. I see things, all right? I'm not like, anyway. But then something happened, which was like, this was the fucking miracle of miracles. Like, to me anyway, like, being out here homeless, like, I mean, I guess unless you've been homeless, you wouldn't really get it. Like, you couldn't really understand, like, just the sheer amount of starlight and sunlight and the weather. Like, it's like, and the constancy, and like, it's distinctly unpleasant. But, you know, hey, you know, it's a living. Anyway, nobody really has very much offered me anything that would, I mean, to just, anyway, I hope, I mean, I don't want to, anyway, one night, this gal, I was sitting on a bench, I think I was sleeping, and, I woke up, and this gal, like, she brings me, like, 2 beers, like, you know, a Doritos chip, like, unasked for. Like, I wasn't sitting there, wasn't a sign. She's like, here you go. Like, it was like the first thing that she ever did. Like, I never even met her before, and the first thing she ever does is, like, give me, like, beers. Like, I was so happy. Like, I was so grateful. I was so grateful that someone, like, I didn't have to ask for beers. Like, it was just like, here you go. Here's some fucking beers. And I think a couple of times, like, she bought me a whole bottle of vodka. She's like, all right, I'm gonna get you this bottle of vodka, but you have to take a shot with me. Like, I'm like, someone's, like, treating me like a fucking person, you know? Like, it was great. And it was nice. It was nice. You know, she was always very friendly. And so I don't, you know, like I said, I don't like to, like, oh, hello, yes, tonight. Anyway, I only got a minute, alright, I did not like, I guess I'm not gonna say it. I guess, like, wait, let me see, 1 minute, I can just redo it, I don't want to redo it, alright, think, alright, oh shit, I didn't mean to, I'm not, think. Okay, so, all right, when it gets to 15 minutes, I'll just cut off, and that's that. So that's all anyway, I happen to find diamonds often. It's just something that I happen to do. Like, I don't sell them. I mean, in fact, the only time I did, I found a diamond bracelet once, and I usually just keep them, and I just, you know, even right now, I've got probably about, I don't know, like 30-something diamonds on me or something. I just like to have them, like, but, you know, I wanted, like, some cool things, and so, no, that's it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Thank you very much.